What if I told you that money has never been about numbers, effort, or luck? What if I told you that everything you've been taught about wealth was a lie? Behind the struggle, beyond the strategies, there's a secret so simple, it's been overlooked by almost everyone. Money is energy, and energy doesn't respond to hustle, it responds to frequency. Maybe you've worked hard for years, followed all the financial advice, and still feel like something's blocking your flow. Deep down, there's a quiet ache, a sense that wealth was meant to feel easier, freer, more aligned with who you truly are. You're not alone. Most of us were programmed from childhood with fear, scarcity, and shame around money. And now, we live inside that invisible cage. But what if you could step out of it? What if the universe is not withholding anything from you? It's simply waiting for you to match its signal. In this video, you'll discover not just how to attract wealth, but how to become it. Through spiritual insights, ancient wisdom, and practical rituals, we'll decode the truth about financial frequency and how to realign with abundance at the deepest level of your being. This isn't about fairy dust or financial hype. This is the only guide you'll ever need to understand why money flows and how to finally receive it in harmony, not in fear. Most people still believe money is just paper or a number on a screen, something external, something earned through hours of labor or luck. But that's only the surface. In truth, money is energy. It flows like water and responds to frequency, not effort. Your personal frequency, shaped by emotions, subconscious beliefs, and inner narratives, is the true magnet for wealth. If you radiate scarcity, you repel it. If you embody abundance, money comes to you like a trusted friend returning home. Think about how some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly. It's not because they're smarter or more talented, it's because their energetic alignment matches the frequency of wealth. They've internalized a different story about money, one of ease, flow, and openness. Meanwhile, others work tirelessly and still struggle. It's not about how hard you work. It's about the signal you're sending out into the quantum field. The universe is an amplifier. It doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. If you constantly feel anxious about bills, that anxiety becomes your energetic broadcast. And guess what? You'll keep getting experiences that reinforce that fear. But when you shift your internal state, when you feel rich in spirit, worthy, whole, the outer reality begins to reflect that shift. This is the foundation of any true wealth guide, mastering energy first. Many people try to fix their financial situation from the outside. New job, side hustle, budgeting apps. Those things are helpful, but they're secondary. The primary transformation happens within. When you start treating money not as a thing, but as a frequency, everything changes. Your energy is the thermostat. Set it to abundance, and the universe adjusts the temperature of your life. Have you ever noticed how money flows more easily when you're joyful, relaxed, or inspired? That's not coincidence. Those emotional states are high-frequency energies, and money loves high frequency. It's like tuning into the right radio station. The signal was always there, but you weren't aligned to receive it. This is the subtle magic behind manifesting wealth. It's not force, it's frequency. So as we begin this journey, ask yourself, what's my current money frequency? Not what's in your bank account, but what's in your vibration. Are you operating from fear or trust, resistance or openness? Money is energy, and it's listening. What are you broadcasting? Long before you ever held a dollar bill, your relationship with money was already being shaped. As a child, you absorbed countless beliefs from parents, teachers, culture, and even religious institutions. You heard phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy. And without even realizing it, those ideas became subconscious commands. The mind was wide open, unguarded. And now, years later, those old voices still whisper behind every financial decision you make. Your subconscious mind is like the soil of a garden. Whatever gets planted there, whether truth or limitation, grows roots. If scarcity was the seed, that's the fruit you'll harvest. And no matter how much conscious effort you put into changing your finances, if the subconscious code says money is unsafe or I don't deserve wealth, it's like trying to sail with the anchor still down. You might move, but you won't go far. That's why surface-level strategies often fail. Budgeting, working overtime, setting goals, they're all important, but they're powerless against a subconscious blueprint wired for lack. This is why two people with the same job, same salary, and same circumstances can have completely different results. One thrives, the other struggles. It's not about what's outside, it's the invisible architecture within that makes or breaks wealth. You have to dig deeper. Start asking, what did I learn about money growing up? Whose beliefs am I carrying that no longer serve me? Awareness is the first act of spiritual wealth creation. When you bring these shadow beliefs into the light, you weaken their grip. You stop operating on autopilot and begin consciously choosing your relationship with abundance. And that changes everything. Many ancient traditions understood this. From Vedic teachings to modern metaphysics, they taught that true freedom begins with inner mastery. In the same way a computer needs reprogramming to run new software, your mind must be updated. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about deep energetic rewiring. Techniques like theta healing, subconscious journaling, or guided visualizations can begin to peel away the outdated code and install something aligned with wealth. Because money doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to identity. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are programmed to expect. The good news? That programming can be rewritten, but first you have to see the script. Every day you're tuned into a channel, either scarcity or flow. These are not just mental attitudes, they're frequencies that shape how life responds to you. A scarcity mindset whispers, there's never enough. It makes you compete, grasp, and fear. You tighten your grip on money, chase it with anxiety, and feel like it's always slipping away. Flow mindset, on the other hand, says, there's more where that came from. It's rooted in trust. A calm knowing that the universe is abundant and generous by nature. When you're locked into scarcity, everything feels like survival. You hesitate to invest in yourself, second guess every financial decision, and hoard what little you have. It's like holding your breath and expecting to receive more air. The very act of clinging shuts off the energetic current. In flow, you exhale, you circulate, you spend with intention and receive with grace. You understand that just as your heart beats and your lungs breathe, the energy of wealth is meant to move, not stagnate. Scarcity creates internal resistance, a blockage. Even if opportunities arise, you may not see them. Even if money comes in, it may vanish quickly, as if proving your belief that wealth is temporary. In flow, the opposite happens. You begin noticing synchronicities, unexpected gifts, inspired ideas, and people who open doors. That's not magic, that's alignment. You've tuned your station to receive, and the universe delivers. The shift from scarcity to flow is less about money itself and more about self-perception. Scarcity says, I don't deserve more. Flow says, I am enough. One frequency says the world is a battlefield. The other says it's a garden. You become a co-creator rather than a victim of circumstance. And when your inner landscape changes, your outer reality follows. Practical step. Start noticing your reactions to money in everyday life. Do you feel guilt when treating yourself? Do you panic when a bill arrives? Those are signs of scarcity. Instead, practice tiny acts of flow, like tipping joyfully, donating a little, or saying affirmations like, I trust money to circulate and return multiplied. These small shifts signal your subconscious that you are safe, supported, and sovereign. Because wealth is not just about having more, it's about embodying the vibration of flow, even when circumstances tempt you to contract. When you choose flow over fear, money becomes a river, not a dam, and your life begins to move with divine rhythm. Before you build any financial strategy, your energy must come first. Most people skip this step and go straight to action, hustling, budgeting, launching projects, but they do it from a place of fear. And fear is the lowest frequency of creation. It repels flow, repels trust, and ultimately repels money. You can't fix energetic wounds with spreadsheets. If your inner system believes you're unworthy or unsafe with wealth, it will quietly sabotage every effort you make to receive more. Healing your relationship with money is not optional, it's foundational. This means going inward and asking the tough questions. What feelings come up when you think about having a lot of money? Guilt, anxiety, fear of loss. These emotions are signals that your energetic field is carrying old wounds. Many people were taught that money is bad, or that suffering is noble. These beliefs hide in the subconscious, creating resistance that strategies can't override. You must learn to feel safe in abundance. If money feels dangerous, greedy, or unstable in your nervous system, it won't stay. Energetic healing means rewiring those internal circuits, not by force, but by compassion. Start by observing your emotional reactions to wealth. Do you tense up when you receive it? Do you downplay your desires? That tension is stored energy from past conditioning, waiting to be released and healed. There are many tools to help with this inner work. Breath work, emotional freedom technique, EFT, somatic practices, and energy healing modalities like Reiki can create deep release. Even repeating mantras like, "I am safe with money," or "I am worthy of abundance" daily can begin to shift your frequency. These aren't magic words, they're energetic instructions spoken into the field, rewriting the old scripts coded in your body. Healing is not dramatic, it's subtle, but it changes everything. Because until you clear the inner clutter, no strategy will stick. You'll keep looping in scarcity, panic, and burnout, but when your body, heart, and mind feel safe in abundance, you stop chasing money. You become the space it naturally fills. This is where quantum alignment begins, when your inner world and outer actions are finally speaking the same language, and that language is flow, not force. So take a sacred pause. Don't just plan, heal. Before trying to manage money, learn to receive it without fear. Before trying to grow wealth, learn to sit with it peacefully. Money is energy, and energy flows into vessels that are open, healed, and grounded in trust. True strategy begins with spiritual safety, and once that's in place, you become unstoppable. Rituals are bridges between the unseen and the seen. When it comes to money, most people focus on numbers and logic, ignoring the energetic patterns beneath. But money is energy, and energy responds to rhythm, repetition, and sacred intention. Rituals tune your vibration to abundance, sending powerful signals to your subconscious and to the universe. They aren't about superstition, but about alignment. Each act becomes a declaration. I am a vessel for wealth, and that declaration begins to shape your reality. The circulation ritual is a simple yet potent practice. Every time you spend or give money, do it with joy and presence. Whisper or think, I circulate this with love. It returns to me multiplied. Instead of feeling fear when money leaves, feel trust. The more freely you circulate money, the more freely it flows back. Like blood in the body, money must move to give life. This rewires your subconscious from fear of loss to expectation of flow. The receipt ritual is a way of honoring what you already receive. Keep a special notebook, journal, or even a digital note called My Abundance Record. Every time you receive money, salary, tips, gifts, discounts, write it down with gratitude. Watch how your awareness begins to shift from what's missing to what's arriving. Your subconscious loves repetition and focus. The more you acknowledge the inflow, the more your mind believes you are abundant and your frequency adjusts. One of the most transformative practices is the overflow envelope. Get an envelope, pouch, or box and label it overflow. Every week, even if it's just a few coins, put money inside. This money is not for emergencies, it's for energetic declaration. You are telling the universe, I always have more than enough. It doesn't matter how small the amount. What matters is the message. Over time, this builds a vibration of surplus rather than survival. All of these rituals bypass your logical brain and speak directly to the energetic field. They train your body, mind, and spirit to feel safe with wealth, to trust the process of circulation, and to engage with money as a sacred force. And when something is sacred, it is cared for, not feared or chased. These actions may seem small, but their impact is subtle and profound. You are not just doing a ritual. You are becoming someone who naturally receives. Because attracting wealth isn't about desperate action, it's about stable identity. When you engage in rituals, you aren't asking for money from a place of lack. You're affirming your truth, that abundance is your natural state. Money is energy, and energy responds to presence, consistency, and joy. These rituals bring your energy into harmony with that truth. And once you're aligned, wealth no longer needs to be chased. It simply arrives. Take a deep breath with me right now and ask yourself honestly, what belief about money have you been carrying that no longer serves you? I'd love for you to pause for a moment and share it in the comments. Whether it's, I don't deserve it, or money always disappears, write it down. Bringing it to light is the first step to releasing it. Let's create a sacred space in the comments where we all heal, grow, and rewire together. Some of the most profound teachings on wealth as energy come not from bankers or economists, but from mystics. Neville Goddard and Ernest Holmes were two such visionaries who didn't just talk about money, they revealed the mechanics of reality itself. Goddard taught that your assumptions create your world. Holmes believed that the mind is a direct channel to divine power, and both agreed, your inner state governs your outer wealth. What you believe inwardly is what you experience externally. Neville's teachings go beyond surface manifestation. He said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That means you don't wait to feel wealthy. You feel it now. Even if your wallet is empty, you walk like abundance lives in your bones. He believed imagination is the divine spark, the true act of creation. When you imagine with conviction, you're not pretending, you're planting. And what you plant in imagination, you harvest in life. Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind, taught that thought is not passive, it's causative. Your beliefs are prayers, constantly shaping form. When you speak about money, when you feel about money, you're activating laws. He didn't separate the spiritual from the material. To Holmes, prosperity was a divine right, not greed, not ego, but the natural expression of a soul aligned with source. Poverty, he said, was a symptom of disconnection, not virtue. Together, these men offer a spiritual blueprint for wealth. Goddard says, feel it first. Holmes says, no, it's your birthright. Their wisdom reminds us that creating wealth is less about external hustle and more about internal mastery. It's not about hoping for money to show up. It's about becoming the kind of person to whom money naturally flows. And that starts with changing how you think, feel, and speak about wealth. These teachings aren't just philosophy, they're practice. Start by choosing one desire, more money, more freedom, more flow. Now imagine it as already done. Feel the emotion, speak it into the field. I am abundance. Then act from that place. This is how you collapse timelines, by embodying the result before it appears. You don't need to figure out how it happens. You only need to become the frequency of the result you seek. So let these voices guide you. Study their words, practice their principles. Remember, you are not just chasing wealth, you are becoming it. Goddard and Holmes didn't give formulas, they gave keys. And those keys unlock more than money. They open the door to a new reality, where you are the creator, not the victim. And money, it becomes the mirror of your awakened mind. One of the least talked about truths in wealth attraction is this: your ability to hold money is just as important as your ability to attract it. Many people manifest small financial wins, only to lose them just as quickly. Why? Because their energetic vessel, the internal space that receives and sustains abundance, is cracked, fragile, or too small. You don't just need to raise your frequency. You need to expand your capacity to contain wealth once it arrives. Imagine trying to fill a broken cup with water. No matter how much you pour in, it leaks out. The same is true with money. If your nervous system is wired for chaos, trauma, or fear, it will reject peace and stability. You may consciously want abundance, but if deep down it feels unsafe or unfamiliar, your body will find a way to sabotage it. The problem isn't that you're not receiving, it's that you can't hold what you've received. Energetic vessel healing is about nervous system regulation and emotional stability. If money has always been associated with stress, pressure, or loss, you need to rebuild that internal structure. You need to feel grounded, calm, and safe in the presence of wealth. Somatic practices like slow breathing, trauma release, or even walking meditations can begin to expand that container. The more relaxed your body becomes, the more it can keep what life gives you. Think of it this way: abundance is like electricity. If your wiring is weak, too much current blows the circuit. But if you strengthen your system, you can handle more, and it becomes your new normal. This is why some people thrive with wealth and others fall apart. It's not about morals or luck, it's about nervous system capacity. Building that capacity is spiritual work. It's how you become a stable container for blessings. One powerful practice is expansion visualization. Every morning, sit in stillness and visualize your body as a golden vessel. See it expanding, growing stronger, holding more with ease. Feel gratitude, even if you haven't yet received what you desire. Gratitude trains your vessel to expect and accept more. Another technique is practicing calm wealth. Spend time in luxury environments, not to spend, but to regulate your body in spaces of abundance without anxiety. Because the truth is, abundance is not a gift, it's a responsibility. It asks you to hold more, give more, and channel more without collapse. And that starts with your energy body. When your vessel is strong, money becomes a partner, not a pressure. It stays, it multiplies, it trusts you. So before asking for more, ask yourself, can I hold what I already have? If the answer is no, that's where your true wealth work begins. Words are spells. Every time you speak about money, you're casting a vibrational command into the universe. Most people unknowingly curse their finances with everyday phrases like, I can't afford that, money doesn't grow on trees, or I'm broke. These statements may feel harmless, but they solidify lack in your subconscious. The mind takes repetition as truth, and if you constantly reinforce limitation with your language, you become trapped in the story of scarcity, even when abundance is knocking. The subconscious is always listening. When you say, I never have enough, it doesn't question you, it obeys. This is why conscious language is crucial in wealth creation. Start replacing scarcity phrases with expansive truth. Instead of, I can't afford it, say, I choose not to spend on that right now. Instead of, money is tight, say, I'm opening to new flows of wealth. These subtle shifts reprogram your identity. Not just what you say, but what you believe. Affirmations are more than wishful thinking. They're vibrational anchors. When you repeat, I am a magnet for abundance, you're not just making noise, You're rewriting your energetic blueprint. But the key is feeling. Words spoken without emotional resonance are empty. So when you speak about money, speak with conviction, as if the truth is already real. This builds coherence between your words, your heart, and the field around you. Language doesn't just shape your thoughts, it reveals your deepest beliefs. When someone constantly jokes about being broke, it's not comedy, it's confession. So pay close attention to how you speak about money, especially when you're not thinking. That's where the old programs live, in casual remarks, sarcasm, and automatic replies. Awareness is the first step, intention is the second, and aligned speech is the third. A simple practice. Create a wealth word list. Choose 10 phrases that affirm abundance, worthiness, and flow. Repeat them daily. Write them on sticky notes. Place them where your old beliefs used to hide, on your fridge, mirror, or phone screen. Let your environment speak a new language. Over time, this becomes your inner voice, and your inner voice becomes your energetic signature. Money, being energy, responds to that frequency, because every time you speak, you're either building a future of expansion or reinforcing a prison of lack. Speak as the version of yourself who already lives in wealth. Let your words be bridges, not barricades. Language is not just description, it's creation. And when your words align with truth, trust, and abundance, the universe starts echoing them back to you, not as theory, but as tangible reality. Wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you become. Most people try to change their financial reality without changing the person who created it. But if you keep the same identity, the same beliefs, emotions, and energetic patterns, you'll keep getting the same results. Real transformation starts with identity. You don't manifest wealth by doing more. You manifest it by embodying the version of you who already lives in abundance. That version doesn't hustle for money. They magnetize it. Identity isn't what you say about yourself once. It's what you rehearse every day, in thought, emotion, language, and behavior. If your default identity is struggling, not enough, or unlucky, your subconscious will find ways to confirm it. But identity is plastic. It can be reshaped. Start asking, who do I need to become to hold the wealth I desire? What does that version of me think, feel, do, and believe? Now, start acting from that place, even before it's real. This is how quantum shifts occur. You collapse time by embodying the end result now, not when the money arrives, before. Walk as if your bank account already reflects overflow. Speak as if abundance is your native language. Feel as if the universe is conspiring in your favor. Because it is. This isn't delusion, it's alignment. Your outer world is always catching up to your inner identity. That's how frequency works. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. To reprogram identity, you need ritual and repetition, daily mirror work, journaling as your future self, or recording affirmations in your own voice are all powerful tools. The more familiar your nervous system becomes with wealth, the more normal it feels. Eventually, abundance doesn't feel like a miracle, it feels like home. That's when the shift locks in. And from that point on, you're no longer trying to create wealth. You're simply expressing who you've become. You must also be willing to shed the old self. Let go of the comfort of victimhood. Release the identity that always struggles, always lacks, always explains why it's not possible. That version of you served a purpose, but it's expired. You're not here to survive. You're here to expand, and your identity must evolve with your vision. As you upgrade your beliefs, the universe upgrades your reality to match. It has no choice. It follows the signal. Because money, in the end, is not about strategy. It's about identity. Become the one who receives easily, the one who gives generously, the one who trusts deeply. That version of you is already alive within you, waiting to be chosen. So choose. Don't wait for evidence. Be the proof. The rest will follow. not because of magic, but because of alignment. This is the true path. Wealth is not something outside of you. It's who you already are when all the fear is gone. Wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you tune into. Throughout this journey, you've seen that money is not just paper or digital data. It's energy. And energy responds not to effort, but to alignment. The thoughts you rehearse, the emotions you carry, the rituals you practice, all of it shapes your energetic signal. When you heal your relationship with money, rewire your subconscious, and embody abundance as your identity, wealth no longer feels like a struggle. It feels natural. So here's your invitation. Begin where you are. Start small. Practice one ritual. Speak one new truth, or shift just one belief today. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to align a little more each day. Wealth is not out there. It's inside you, waiting to be claimed, nurtured, and expressed. And when you do, the world around you will shift to reflect that truth. Ask yourself, what energy am I sending out today? What story am I choosing to believe about abundance? What version of myself am I becoming? And do I truly feel safe receiving everything I desire? If this video awakened something in you, if it helped you see money in a new way, I invite you to join this journey more deeply. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and let's keep exploring the hidden truths that set your spirit free. This is more than content. This is transformation. You were never meant to live in fear of lack. You were born to flow in abundance. Now, let's walk that path together.